Okay, here we are. Today is day 3 of the Advent of Cyber Challenge. We are already on TryHackMe. Today's challenge is Splunk Basics. Did you see them or SIM? And a quick notation here. I just want to inform you that I am not a cybersecurity professional. I have no experience in or with cybersecurity. So I will be taking on these challenges as a beginner, just like other beginners would. And you may see me stop to research or look a few things up along the way. So I will just apologize in advance for that. Here we go. Today is day 3. We're going to work through task 1 and 2 of Splunk Basics. So let's go ahead and scroll down. Of course, you are more than welcome to work through the videos associated on TryHackMe. And first task is introduction. Second task is log analysis with Splunk. So let's go ahead and jump right into the introduction. It's almost Christmas in Wareville, and the team of the Best Festival Company, TBFC, is busy preparing for the big celebration. Everything is running smoothly until the SOC dashboard flashes red. A ransom message suddenly appears. Attack. So the message comes from King Malheur, the jealous ruler of Hopsec Island, who's tired of Easter being forgotten. He's sent his bandit bunnies to attack TBFC's systems and Christmas into his new holiday Eastmas. Turn Christmas into his new holiday Eastmas. With McSkitty missing and the network under attack, the TBFC SOC team will utilize Splunk to determine how the ransomware infiltrated the system and prevent King Malheur's plan from being compromised before Christmas. So the learning objectives today: ingest and interpret custom log data in Splunk, create and apply custom field extractions, use search processing language SPL to filter and refine search results, conduct an investigation with Splunk to uncover key insights. So we're going to connect to the machine, and before doing so, we need to review the questions and the connection card here. So direct link: do I need to start the attack box today? No. Do I need to start the VM? Yes. Is there split screen available? No. Is there a direct link? Yes. And am I given credentials to connect directly to the VM via RDP, VNC, or SSH? No. So right here, we're going to start by clicking the Start Machine button. So select that. And the machine will need about 2 to 3 minutes to fully boot. Let's go ahead and clear these. Once the machine is up and running, you can connect to the Splunk SIM by visiting HTTPS, IP address provided, and this full URL here in our browser. So your IP might be a little bit different than mine. Maybe it's not. Note, if you get a 502 error when accessing the link, please give Splunk, the Splunk instance, a bit more time to fully boot up. And the questions for today: I successfully have accessed the Splunk instance. Let's click check for now. And we have about 14-15 seconds till that is completed. And what I'll do here is right click, copy this link address, and we'll go to that in just a moment. I'm just going to wait for this to completely load. Okay, there we go. We have our IP address here. So 10.66.170.101. And I can go into my search tab and paste that. Let's go. Okay, so we'll just wait a minute here. Come back over to TryHackMe, and let's jump into task 2 while we're waiting. So log analysis with Splunk, and I'll just go ahead and give a footnote here. I have not worked with Splunk before, so this is going to be my first time. Exploring the logs. In the Splunk instance, the data has been pre-ingested for us to investigate the incident. On the Splunk interface, click on the search and reporting on the left panel as shown below. So we'll go ahead, come back to, copy, paste, enter, and looks like it's actually trying to load here. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and let that load up here. So of course, this is all in real time. And I'm assuming this is what the interface is going to look like on the next page. Okay, so we'll just definitely wait for that to completely load. Perfect. So once we're here, search and reporting. Okay, and come back over. So on the next page, type index equals main in the search bar to show all ingested logs. Note that we will need to select all time as the time frame from the dropdown on the right of the search bar. Okay, so index equal main right here, 1. We'll hit this dropdown and we'll change it to all time. Got it. So let's do index equal main, dropdown, all time. And after running the query, so let's go ahead and hit search. Perfect. Come back over. So after running the query, we will be presented with 2 separate data sets that have been pre-ingested into Splunk. We can verify this by clicking the source type field in the field list on the left side of the page. So we see here index main. This is what our page should look like here, and source type. And we'll see these 2 values as well. Okay, source type, web traffic and firewall logs, got it. So the 2 data sets are as follows. Web traffic, this data source contains events related to web connections to and from the web server. And firewall logs, this data source contains the firewall logs showing the traffic allowed or blocked. The local IP assigned to the web server is 10.10.1.15. So let's explore the logs and investigate the attack on our servers to identify the culprit. So initial triage, start a basic search across the index using your custom source type web traffic using the following query. Search query, index equal main, source type equal web traffic. Okay, so we will, in the search bar, add the source type web traffic, search. We can see analytics here. And then we'll see 4, 5. Okay. So we're just going to add source type equals web traffic. Out of curiosity, I wonder if I'm able to just select yes. Okay, so we see that here. It's still set for all time. The analytics here. And let's go back. So search query is met. So let's break down our result for better understanding. Search query, the query retrieves all events from the main index that were tagged with the custom source type, web traffic. This marks the beginning of the investigation. Time range, the time range is currently set to all time. In security analysis, this range would be tightened. So of course, to just narrow down to a window after initial data loading. And timeline, this visual histogram shows the distribution of the 17,172 events over time. The graph indicates the successful daily log volume, followed by a distinctive traffic spike, which is a period of high activity likely during the attack window. So for selected fields, these are the fields currently chosen to be displayed in the summary column of the event list. So host, source, source type. They represent basic metadata about the log file itself. 5 interesting fields. This pane lists all fields that Splunk has automatically extracted or manually added. Fields prefixed with the hashtag symbol or the number symbol. And example given, date, hour are automatically generated by Splunk's time commands. This presence of user agent path and client IP confirms the successful parsing of the web log structure. 6, event details and field extraction. This section shows the parse details of a single event with extracted fields like user agent, path, status, client IP, and more. Now that we have an understanding of Splunk layout and how to read the logs in Splunk, let's continue our analysis of the logs. All right, so search query, time range, timeline, selected fields, interesting fields, events, details, and field extractions. So at this point, let's go back over. So in any one of these drop downs here, okay, host, source, source type, we see that web traffic, okay. Drop this back, come over, and let's keep moving along here. Visualizing the logs timeline, let's chart the total event count over time, grouped by day to determine the number of events captured per day. This will help us in identifying the day that received an abnormal number of logs. Search query, index main, source type, web traffic, and time chart span 1 day count or 1D count. So let's copy this, come in here. Search again. Okay. Per day. Got it. And we can see the count over here. 595, 479, 521. And we can see the count going up right around these days here. 1010, 1011, 1012. And even 1013 and 1014. So it looks like we jump between about 2,000, 1,600, 2,200, 1,600, and 1,700. Those would definitely be the abnormal counts as opposed to the others, roughly around 400 to 500 or so, maybe touching almost 600. All right, so let's go back. The above results are now showing the event logs captured per day. This could be interesting as we can see some days getting a high volume of logs. We can also click on the visualization tab to examine the graph for better representation as shown below. Okay, so we have these different tabs here. Let's come up here, do visualization, and we can see the same thing, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And we still see the count associated with those days. All right. And we can append the reverse function at the end to display the result in descending order, showing the day with the maximum number of events at the beginning. So we can change the search query to index main source type web traffic. We added this pipe here for time chart. We can do the same thing for sort by count reverse. So go ahead and copy that. Come back over, space. There we go. Paste, search. Oh, nice. Okay, so it does put it in order for us here. Okay. There's a clear period of intense activity during which King Malheur launched his main attack phase. So we have anomaly detection. Now that we have examined the days with the abnormal logs using the table and the graph, let's use the same search query to examine various fields to hunt for suspicious values. We need to go back to the events tab to continue. Okay, so let's go to events, come back here, and now user agent. Let's click on the user agent field in the left side panel. As shown below, it will show us the details about the user agents captured so far. Okay, so under interesting fields, come back, we're in the events tab, and I'm sorry, what was it that we had to click again? User agent, got it. So we'll click user agent, and we can see this window pop up here. Okay. So upon closer examination, it becomes clear that a part of the legitimate user agents like Mozilla variants, we are receiving a large number of suspicious ones, which we will need to investigate further. So client IP. The second field we'll want to examine is the client IP. Okay, let me just go back just for my own curiosity. So we have Mozilla here, so from iPhone, Windows, a Mac, wget, zgrab, curl, and out of my own curiosity, new chat, in a log, what is zgrab, wget, and curl? So zgrab, wget, and curl are tools utilized for network communications, especially for retrieving or sending data over the internet. Each has distinct functionalities and use cases. So zgrab, the purpose. Zgrab is a banner grabber. It's designed to scan and capture information or banners from various protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, FTP on a given set of IP addresses or domains. Usage often used in network security assessments and research to gather data about services operating on servers. Okay. Key features: support multiple protocols, can handle large-scale scanning, and is typically used in conjunction with ZMAP, a network scanner. wget is a command line utility for downloading files from the web using HTTP, HTTPS, and FTP protocols. Used for retrieving content from the internet, mirroring websites, and downloading files and scripts. Key features: resumes interrupted downloads, can download recursively, and supports proxy servers. Curl. Purpose of curl is a command line tool for transferring data with URLs. It supports a wide array of protocols, including HTTP, HTTPS, and FTP, and many more. Frequently used for making HTTP requests like GET and POST, etc., submitting forms and interacting with RESTful APIs. And key features: highly customizable, extensive protocol support, and allows you to set request headers and handle cookies. So these tools are essential in network and web development tasks, offering unique capabilities that cater to different needs. If you're interested in a specific use case, we can discuss that further. I'm good for now. All right, so client IP. The second field we will examine is the client IP, which contains the IP addresses of the clients accessing the web server. We can immediately see one particular IP address standing out, which we will investigate further. So, of course, in the interesting fields section here, we can select client IP. So we'll come back, select client IP. And right here, we do see this one stands out with 7,876 under the count type, which definitely is abnormal considering to the rest here. And we see it's 198.51.155. So I'm going to pause here for just a moment. Actually, let's copy this because I guarantee this is going to be one of the questions. And let's paste that here. Okay, I'm going to pause under the client IP section, and we'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's scroll down, take a look at some of the questions for today. And the first one: what is the attacker IP found attacking and compromising the web server? Which day was the peak traffic in the logs? So the date format is going to be year, month, date. What is the count of the Havij user agent events found in the logs? How many path traversal attempts to access sensitive files on the server? And examine the firewall logs. How many bytes were transferred to the C2 server IP from the compromised web server? Now I guarantee, let's go ahead and paste that IP there. Perfect. So that one that stood out to us is definitely going to be the attacker IP, this one here. And let's go back up to client IP section and pick up where we left off. Okay. So we did investigate further with client IP, and now path. The third field we will examine is path, which contains the URL being requested and accessed by the client's IP. The results shown below clearly indicate some attacks worth investigating. So we can select path in the interesting fields section as well. Come down here, select path, and we can see index.html is at the highest count, followed by blog, I'm assuming the home, and static app.css, shop, and contact. And we can see some of the normal counts here, about 658 to about 660. Okay. So we're going to come back over. The third field will we examine. We did that. So filtering out benign values. Let me just scroll back down to the questions here. Just double check that we didn't miss anything that we might need. Which day is the peak traffic in the logs? Okay. come back up. So filtering out benign values. We know King Malware's bunnies use scripts and tools, not standard browsers. Let's filter out all standard traffic. Let's exclude common legitimate user agents. The following query will remove legitimate users, agents from the results and only show the suspicious ones, which we will further investigate. So search query now. We have source type web traffic, and now we're going to add in user agent equals, or okay, does not equal Mozilla user agent, does not equal Chrome, and does not equal Safari. I'm pretty certain that that's what that means. What does this symbol mean? Symbol exclamation point equal sign is a comparison operator used in many programming languages to indicate not equal to. That's what I thought. It is used to compare two values or expressions, returning a Boolean value of true if the values are not equal and false if they are equal. Okay. So let's come back here and we can leave the source type web traffic. Now we're going to add user agent and copy all this here. Come back up here. Remove and paste that. And now, out of my own curiosity, I wonder if October 12th, 2025 is going to be the day with the most down here. Let's go back to our questions. In 2025 10-12. So with the peak traffic and logs. Let's check that. Perfect. All right, the next question is, what is the count of Havish user agent events found in the log? Okay, so we're checking those things now. Let's come back up. And we're in the benign values section right here. So we're going to run that query now. And come back over. So the output reveals interesting results. By clicking on the client IP field, we can see a single IP address being responsible for all the suspicious user agents. Let's note that down for further investigation and fill in the redacted portions of the upcoming queries with that IP. So come back over, select client IP, and we can see, of course, 198.51.155, which is what we have here. Okay. So narrowing down suspicious IPs. In the real world scenarios, we often encounter various IP addresses constantly attempting to attack our servers. To narrow down on the IP addresses that do not send requests from common desktop or mobile browsers, we can use the following query. So we can leave this portion here and we'll add from this pipe forward stats count by client IP, sort count, head 5. Copy that, come back in, add that to our query, and search. Oh, I guess. Okay, right here, so count 7876. And now, come back over. The result confirms the top IP used by the bandit bunnies. In the search query, the dash in the sort dash count part will sort the result by count in reverse order. It's the same as using the reverse function. Let's pick this IP address and filter out to see what the footprints of the activities captured. All right, we will now focus on the selected attacker IP to trace their steps chronologically, confirming the use of multiple tools and payloads. Don't forget to replace redacted with the IP noted down previously. Okay, we have that noted down. So reconnaissance, footprinting, we will start searching for the initial probing of exposed configuration files using the query below. So let's go ahead and copy this entire query and Control C, come back in, Control V, and in redacted, we're going to add the IP shown, which is 198.51.155. I believe I'm doing it right so far, so let's go ahead and check. Okay. And we can see the paths here. Let's come back. All right, perfect. Our screen looks just like this. Nice. The result confirms the attacker used low-level tools like curl, wget, and was met with 404, 403, and 401 status codes. Got it. Enumeration, and of course, we can always check what that means if we're unaware. What is a 404, 403, and I think it said 401 status codes. Understanding HTTP status codes 44, 43, 401. So 44 is not found, 43 is forbidden, and 401 is unauthorized. Okay. And enumeration, so vulnerability testing. Let's search for the common path traversal and open redirect vulnerabilities. So now we can copy and paste this search query here. Copy C. Let's do V. Add our IP here. 198.51.155. And I'm fairly certain that's it. Yep. Let's go ahead and search for that. Come back over to TryHackMe. Let's follow these next instructions here. And the output shows the resources the attacker is trying to access. Let's update the search query to get the count of those resources requested by the attacker. So let's come back just for my own knowledge. I'm going to highlight here so I know where we stopped. Okay, so we can see Etsy password, Etsy password, Etsy password. We see evil site, Etsy password, and continues evil site and Etsy password. Got it. Okay. So this search query is filtering on the paths that contain either ... or the term redirect in it, as shown below. This is done to look for footprints of path traversal attempts, which is this here. 2, we need to update in the search query to escape the characters like these here. So we're going to add this search query, copy, Control C, come back, and don't forget to add the IP here. 198.51.155. And let's go ahead and search. Okay, so we see here, redirect, evil site, and download file, Etsy password. Okay. So quite interesting results. Reveals attempts to read files or system files, showing the attacker moved beyond simple scanning to active vulnerability testing. SQL injection attack. Find the automated attack tool and its payload by using the query below. And let's see, we do see the count here, 633, and download 658. Okay. SQL injection, find the automated attack tool and the payload by using the query below. So we can change our query again. We'll copy this, and it looks right here, our next question right here, Havij or Havij user agent. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. Drop this in, add our IP, 198.51.155, and search. Okay, let's come back over here to TryHackMe. So above results confirms the use of the known SQL injection and specific attack strings like sleep 5. A 504 status code often confirms a successful time-based SQL injection attack. So I'm going to pause here at exfiltration attempts. We're going to scroll down to our questions. And what is the count of Havij user agent events found in the log? Well, that is a good question. Maybe I'm not quite there yet. How many path traversal attempts to access sensitive files on the server were observed? Ooh, was that the 658 that we saw a moment ago? It was. What is the count of Havij user agents found in the logs? I might have to go back to the previous, which that's okay. So we were right here at exfiltration attempts. So I'm going to pause. Let's move back just a bit. In SQL map Havij. I'm curious if it's going to be 500. Let's double check the question. What is the count of Havij user agent events found in the logs? Let's try that first. 500. No. Got it. Okay. Answer is incorrect. Please ensure. Okay. Let's go back up. And SQL injection attacks. That's what we just performed. Exfiltration attempts. And reconnaissance. Path user agent. Double check the wording on that. Maybe that's tripping me up. I'm not certain. What is the count found in the logs? I wonder if that's the other one of 633 that we just ran a moment ago. Let's try that. That would also be a no. Okay. So what is the count? What is the count? Let's go back up. Reconnaissance footprinting. That one's definitely got me stumped. Like I said, I'm not a cybersecurity professional here. So, exfiltration attempts. Well, let's see which query we're under now. Table time path status. See, I thought for sure running this one. So I wonder if aha, there we go. So it was under this query here, the most recent one we did perform. Come into the events, change to user agents, and we can see right here count 993. Okay, let's try that. Nice. All right, so examine the firewall logs. How many bytes were transferred to the C2 server IP from the compromised web server? So let's go back up to exfiltration, one more right here. So exfiltration attempts, search for attempts to download large sensitive files, backup logs, and we can use the query below. So source type, web traffic. Let's go ahead, copy this, update our query, add in our IP address, 198.151.155. And let's go ahead and search. Okay. So from here, we can search for the attempts to download large sensitive files, backups, logs, and we can use the query below, which we did. The results indicate the attacker was exfiltrating large chunks of compressed log files using tools like curl, zgrab, and more. We can confirm the details about these connections in the firewall logs, okay, which is where we're going to look for our next answer, if you will. So ransomware staging and RCE, which I think is remote code execution. What does RCE stand for in cybersec? Yes, remote code execution. Okay. So requests for sensitive archives like logs.tar.gz and config indicate the attacker is gathering data for double extortion. In the logs, we identified some requests related to bunny lock and shell PHP. Let's use the following query to see what those search queries are about. Okay, let me just go back over and we can see that here. That was the main target. Well, for pretty much all of it. Got it. Okay. So let's go ahead, copy this, update our query here, add the IP once again, 198.151.155, and enter to search. So we see the path for shell bunnylock.bin. See the status here, 500, 200. So these are the status codes. Okay. Now above results clearly confirm a successful web shell. The attacker has gained full control over the web server and is also able to run commands. This type of attack is called remote code execution, RCE. The execution of shell.php !cmd equals /bunny lock bin. Okay, so we see that one on this line here, which is right here. Oh, right here, right here. Okay. So correlate outbound C2 communication. We pivot the search to the firewall logs using compromised server IP 10.10.1.5 as the source and the attacker IP as the destination. So let's copy this. And we're going to come back into Splunk, update our query, update the IP, 198.151.155. Enter. And we see here C2 contact. Okay. Destination IP, source IP. Okay. This query proves the server immediately established an outbound connection to the attacker's C2 IP on the suspicious destination port. The action equals allowed and the reason equals C2 contact. Yep, we saw that. Fields confirmed that the malware communication channel was active. So the volume of data exfiltrated. So now we can also use the sum function to calculate the sum of the bytes transferred using the bytes_transferred field as shown below. So let's go ahead, copy this once again. Control C, come back up, update the query, and update the destination IP 198.151.155, and search. And we see here source IP 10.10.1, and we can see the sum bytes is 126,167. So the results show a huge volume of data. I think that's supposed to be an E there, but I could be wrong. A huge volume of data transferred from the compromised web server to C2 server. So identity found. The attacker was identified via the highest volume of malicious web traffic. Yes. Originating from an external IP. Okay. The intrusion vector. The attack followed a clear progression in the web logs under web traffic. Yes. Reconnaissance probes were initiated via curl, wget, and zgrab, looking for configuration files and testing path traversal vulnerabilities, payload or exploitation, the use of SQL map user agents and specific payloads. Sleep 5 confirmed the successful exploitation phase. Payload delivery, the action on objective AOO was established by the final successful execution of the command cmd equals ./bunnylock.bin. Via the web shell and the C2 confirmation, the pivot to the firewall logs, source type equal firelog or firewall_logs proved the post exploitation activity. The internal compromised server source IP 10.10.1.5 established an outbound C2 connection to the attacker's IP. Yep. Okay. And the total was 126,167 as shown here. Sum of the bytes transferred, and hit check. And that looks like that's it for this challenge today. And if, of course, we enjoyed today's room, we can check out the incident handling with Splunk room to learn more about analyzing logs with Splunk. That was kind of cool. Definitely wish I had a better background in cybersecurity and a better understanding with it so I could retain a bit more of that, but nonetheless. And we'll go ahead and close here. And of course, that is going to be it today. So we're going to close this out, come back here, scroll back up, and let's just go ahead. Oh, I'm past it. Here we go. Terminate our machine and close these. That will be it for today's challenge.